last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Here comes the bang green screen stuff. Ow.
And now, the conclusion.
Mr. Terrific was cool. He showed up and helped Superman and had a scene where he's fucking up Lex's security forces around like a tent, and the portal goes to a place where Superman's being held, which I'll get back to. Maybe. And he's the one that like blows up the tum-tum of the monster, and his humor is great. Like he's kind of just, he's very like stern and kind of annoyed, it seems, at all times. And he doesn't like being pushed because he's trying to fix like a dimensional rift thing. And this lady's like, can you stop it? He's like, can I stop it? Like, because it was their fucking invention. And it's just funny, just his attitude and demeanor. And he's the one that does go to help out of the Justice Gang, which Hawkgirl hates that name, but they keep trying to go for it. And then there's Metamorpho, who's like the fourth member. So there's this dimensional rift pocket universe that Lex Luthor made using like the creation of a black hole or some shit, and he's holding a lot of like prisoners there. It's supposed to be for metahumans, but it's for a lot of people he also just doesn't like his exes, anybody that speaks out against him. There's definitely no allegories here. And Superman turns himself in, and the government's like, yeah, you can take him there, and he's being held there in a cell with Metamorpho, who's turning his hand into kryptonite, and it's like killing Superman. And the reason Superman had to turn himself in was because he got involved in a conflict between a country that was a lot like Russia and one that was a lot like Palestine. So it was like the two major wars going on right now, conflicts among the thousands we actually probably have, being condensed into one. And so Superman first stopped an invasion, and the government said, fucking don't do that. And there's a cool moment where he's letting Lois interview Superman, but they're like on a date in her apartment, and he's really showing his caring about life, because he's like, okay, there's political borders and rules, but like people were gonna die. Was I supposed to just let that happen? And so he didn't, and the government wanted him arrested, and so he's being held in the cell by Metamorpho, and Metamorpho is being kind of held as a forced enforcer because his kid is in another cell with a dickhead with a gun. And there's the moment where Superman is being interrogated and Lex kills the guy that he has hostage in the interrogation. It was a guy that helped Superman kind of climb out of a hole at one point when he was fighting a monster, the foot monster. It was just like a local restaurant owner, and Superman had like a bond with him, and because he cares about people in this. It's weird. And the guy gets shot and he dies, and Superman's just kind of laying there half dead from kryptonite, and you hear crying, and it's Metamorpho because he felt all bad about allowing this to happen, because he's not a bad guy. He didn't want any of this to happen. Lex is forcing him to beat her Superman with kryptonite. He felt really bad. And then there's a cool moment where he stops being Kryptonite Man and he makes a son for Superman to go save his kid, and there's just a whole big fucking cool sequence of them trying to get out of this dimension. And Lex once again is trying to distract Superman, and he causes one of the portals to just rip open the fabric of reality, and that's like when there's the moment where Mr. Terrific is like getting mad trying to fix it while being bugged, and yeah, I don't remember my point anymore. Oh yeah, Superman's dog, Crypto. He got captured at one point too, because Lex found the Fortress of Solitude with the help of the Engineer, which is a metahuman he helped create who can like do tech things. And Crypto is at the fortress because Superman's babysitting him for like the duration of this movie, and he tries to defend the fortress because they're able to get in because they have Ultraman, and the fortress is reading his DNA thinking it's Superman. So they get in to steal secrets, and Crypto gets captured trying to fight them off. And then there's like a funny scene at the end where Crypto absolutely fucking destroys Lex because Superman saves the day and is in like Lex's office with his team, and he's telling him like, I'm human, I make mistakes, and I keep trying, and that's my strength. And then Lex is like about to point a finger and like touch him, and Superman's like saying something like, don't touch me, and Crypto fucking jump scares you and just throws him around the room, and it's amazing. I forgot my point again. But of course, the Snyderbots also hate Crypto, and he's driving up adoption rates though. People want dogs, and they're all gonna like give them back. And oh yeah, part of the reason Superman got arrested that I remember now is because Lex, when he invaded the fortress, he discovered that this message that Superman had that he kept listening to for comfort, with the help of the engineer, they were able to recover the rest of it because it kept cutting out. And Superman's birth parents are assholes. They're more like the evil Kryptonian types that we're seeing come out more and more. They told Superman to go to Earth and take it over, and if anybody had a problem with it, kill them. And the government was like, we don't like that. So he got arrested, and there was a lot of suspicion. And the dimension that they got held in had monkeys typing on computers. They were like wired to be smart and stuff, because Lex was also using them to try to generate more hate for Superman on social media. It was amazing. The fucking movie had primates, it had feet, and it had Superman in bondage when he was getting arrested. Those are the three big staples of DC. That's how you know this is a Superman movie. There's a lot of people that are like complaining this movie is woke, like Dean Cain, for example, and he hasn't even fucking seen it. He went on Fox News complaining about it, I think. Here I am complaining about him, and I haven't seen his complaint. But that's because I'm tired of that chud. But the whole thing started because he doesn't say truth, justice, and the American way, and emphasizes that he's an immigrant. But the problem with that is, it never really fucking comes up. He doesn't really mention being an immigrant. He just talks about being an alien, being on Earth, trying to be human. There's never anything about truth, justice, and the way not being American. They don't talk about that. He just talks about like his origin and gets arrested for the message his parents had. Like, you would think they might complain the movie's woke because it's got the Ukraine war and the Israel-Palestine conflict sort of bottled up on a micro thing. But no, it's because he doesn't say truth, justice, in the American way. But it doesn't really come up. He doesn't say it and then correct it or anything. He just doesn't, nobody's focused on it. I mean, I've heard the whole political prisoner thing. Someone got mad because they're like, oh, so you're saying this movie isn't political? Like, I don't fucking think anybody's really saying that. I think you're just trying to pick and choose what people, like how you're responding. I think there's a term for that. You just fucking look at something and then you're like, oh, but you said it wasn't this. I don't fucking know. It's all stupid. It's fucking dumb is what it is. This movie... Comics are political. They always have been. I mean, yeah, you get some stories that don't mention things, but there's a lot of times that there's like commentary and allegory in there. And really, it just, the only like really political stuff was the wars that got combined into one, and Superman just trying to stop them, and them being generated and started as a plot to get Superman arrested and killed. There wasn't really much commentary there. It was just Lex Luthor generated a war and used it to try and justify killing Superman. He wanted to legally be allowed to do it. I guess the movie could be woke because Lex kept calling him an alien and being kind of specious about it and stuff. He also hates metahumans. He also hates his ex-girlfriends. He's kind of just a big C-word. But also, the movie, you know what it did have? A lot of heart. As I mentioned some earlier at some point. Right, when Superman's caring about life during this conflict and getting upset, and Lois is kind of baiting him into snapping. She's like, well, you just do what you want without, like, political oversight? You just go to another country and save people, you fucker? And he's like, well, what was I supposed to do? Let him die? And, you know, there's the caring about the squirrels and the alien monster that's almost killing the squirrels and children in the city. And there's the whole subplot where he's questioning his existence because he finds out the rest of the message from his parents is about killing anybody that gets in his way and taking over Earth. And he ultimately finds out, like, parents on Earth are the ones that are his real parents. That message that gave him comfort when he was, like, injured after fighting Ultraman gets replaced by footage of him with his Earth parents, Mom, Pa, Kent, and that's comforting him. And his dad even says at one point, like, I think it says a lot about you that you really cared about the first half of that message, about how he was supposed to be like helping and hope for people or whatever, more than what the rest of the message says, or that says more about you than what the rest of the message says, where it wants you to do bad things. And his dad tells him he's like so proud of him and everything, and then that kind of helps him reconnect and feel human again. And he's talking about punk music with Lois and stuff while Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl are fighting some weird cosmic like dimensional monster thing in the distance, which I thought was like a hologram show or something in the trailer, but no, it's an alien fight going on, and he's like, they got it. But they're talking about his past and how he's a nerd and not actually punk, and he's like, well, caring about people and being a good man, that's punk. because, you know, that's not like the cool thing to do. Which goes back to this being Superman that cares and is a good man, and it's refreshing. He kind of seems like a young, newer Superman, though. So he's like a weird, I don't know. Superman always seemed more serious to me, but this Superman is also good. I mean, movie directors aren't gonna like make the exact comic character come out because that's kind of boring. Really, a lot of these characters are kind of just stoic or stern, like Batman, Superman. That was more Marvel's thing to make them all kind of quippy and funny. But he's a lot more human and like relatable, which is what he wanted, because he cared more about that side of his life and learned that that's him and not what his Kryptonian heritage was dictating him to be. And speaking of, the reason he was babysitting Krypto was because Supergirl was off getting drunk on a planet with a red sun that had strong liquor that would let her get wasted. So she's kind of a party girl, except she has to like fly off to other planets to indulge. And she comes back and Krypto's just absolutely fucking demolishing her, but she's enjoying it because it's her dog. And Superman's just like, this is why he has no boundaries or discipline, because she wasn't really training him. She just lets Krypto do whatever. Krypto was making friends with the monkeys that were typing about Superman. I don't know how smart they still are, because they had like head thingies on while they were calling Superman super shit, which bothered him a lot. He kept saying he didn't care what people say, and then Lois brought up the super shit thing, and he snaps at one point during that like interview. It was just great. He kept going like off the record and stuff when he was supposed to still be Superman during the interview. It's like, you're not supposed to know that and stuff. Or she knows things, but she's trying to pretend like she doesn't, and he's like, well, you know that, and she's like, well, I can't fucking know that for this interview. You're supposed to be Superman. Like, it was funny. Yeah. It was a great movie overall. It did try to instill like a hopeful, happier Superman and really drive home the message of just him being Superman and trying to be human and helpful. There's no Pa Kent telling him to let people die. They don't really get into like his past because Gunn was trying to kind of get past that, since it's been done so many times. Like, fuck. Even Superman Returns rehashed his, or no, he came back on a weird meteor thing on his own. That wasn't a retelling of the origin. It probably did again. I don't know. That movie sucked. I like how Half in the Bag said Man of Steel made that movie look good. Yeah. Now we just shit on Snyder films. But no, my point was, like, the origin kind of gets brought up more with text, mentioning how it's been 3 years, and they only kind of gloss over things here and there, which was fine. Although 3 years, that's a lot. That's a lot of time we missed. He fought Lex a bunch of times that we haven't seen, and I don't know. But I can't wait to see what he does with Batman. And we're gonna get a whole new war. A whole fucking new... This is just gonna be phase 2 of this. People are gonna be comparing him to hyper murderous, super latex, meaty Batfleck, and I'm here for it. It's gonna be like when The Last of Us 2, Season 2 both happened. Oh... So yeah, good movie. I recommend it. It's a good start to the whole DCU, although I guess that already started because the things Gunn worked on are canon. I don't fucking know how that all works. But I have a lot of hope. Which is a Superman.